What's up, Waterboys, and welcome back for another Waterboys Wednesday. I'm Ian.
Theo.
I'm Hayden.
We got 3 good-looking segments today. We're going to start it off with the season restart and what we want for Christmas games. Second topic, we're going to go to projected trades. You saw that last week. We're getting it back today. And to finish it off, we've got our own little mock draft. So stay for that, and you can see what we think for the upcoming draft.
All right.
So let's start it off with the season restart and Christmas games. December 22nd. That's the date, right? December 22nd.
Mark your calendars.
It's crazy because it felt like it just ended, and now we're jumping back into it.
Basketball all year round.
That was what I hated the most, because what I hated the most about basketball is when it ended.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
It felt like, yeah, but here's what we got in a summer camp now, right? We got in a summer camp. That's what I used to like for that in between, but it doesn't matter because we're hopping right back into it.
Now, do you guys think there is going to be even a preseason?
Maybe 1 or 2 games.
Is there even going to be
maybe
a training
1 or 2
camp?
makes?
No,
There is going to be a training camp. Yes,
but
there is going to be a
preseason,
training
I
camp.
say no. I don't. The
1
players.
game, yeah.
The thing is, they didn't even. I'm not saying all players didn't want to come back for the restart, but there was a conversation of like, let us have Christmas with our families. You know.
A lot of them were saying Martin Luther King Day. That's what they were all saying.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because a lot of them were saying let's start on Martin Luther King Day.
I feel like that's too late.
Yeah, but then
that's too
they
late.
did the vote and it ended up being December 22nd. So let's talk about this. It looks like we're going to have 50% crowd capacity.
We going to Waterboys at some games this year?
That's what I'm thinking.
Waterboys
It might
at some
be
games
hard.
this year?
It might be hard, but who knows? Maybe we can get a little vlog to a game for you guys. That would be exciting. Of course, a Jazz game. Of course.
Okay.
It's gonna be a Heat game.
It's got to be a Jazz game, unless we go to a Heat versus
Road
Jazz
trip.
game.
Jazz.
That would be exciting, but it's probably going to be someone versus the Clippers.
Yeah.
That's the games we can go to, are the Clippers games.
But they're expensive now, still.
That's
Both
true,
of them.
especially with 50% capacity.
Cheaper than
no,
the
that
Lakers, though.
might mean though we don't have to go to the nosebleeds.
That's something I
That
wanted
might mean
to.
that might mean we could get to the lower bowl.
That's something I wanted to comment on. I think the NBA is doing its fans a disservice if they raise the prices because
That's
it's 50%
true.
capacity.
It should stay the same.
But see, they're going
to.
It should stay the same.
But it's not going to stay the same because they lost out on a lot of income this year.
That's
and
true.
if we remember, like, did you guys see? Oh, ESPN was posting a whole bunch of like how this player's salary. It was some kind of protection clause in the contract that could totally cut the salary or the growth of the salary by 40%. So
40%.
players like Stephen Curry that are having a contract over 30 million are now looking at they're only earning 17, 18 million this year.
So yeah, they might have to charge up tickets.
Their tickets might have to be charged up.
And they're probably going to be harder. You probably aren't just going to be able to go online and get them. You're probably going to have to get like reserved for them like way ahead. You're probably going to have to go wait. Like honestly, we probably might have to go right after this and start getting.
They haven't even released the schedules yet though.
Yeah.
They just said, "Hey, all teams are going to be playing 72 games. We're starting on the 22nd." And that's
a lot
all
of
the
people
information we
like
have.
the Lakers, specifically Jared Dudley. And I don't know why Dudley was saying this because let's be honest, he played like 2 minutes in the whole playoffs. But he said, "Hey man, we should start a little later. We should have a schedule that pushes us more later because we played all the way to the end." Do you guys agree with that, or do you think they should get off their high horse and start playing?
I think the thing about it is they didn't have to come back to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for me, the thing to do is like I said, give them Christmas and New Year's with their families because they usually don't get that. That's not something you get as an NBA player. You're on the road, you're playing, you know. So I think they should have given them Christmas, at least Christmas. Maybe start the day after Christmas.
Yeah. Well,
or
we all
2
want to
days
see
after
Christmas games. That's something I look forward to on Christmas is the Christmas games.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. What Christmas games do you want this year?
Me?
Yeah.
All I want for Christmas is
an NBA game.
Is an NBA game. And let me tell you which NBA game I'm turning on Christmas Day.
Which one?
Let me tell you which one.
Do you
I'm
want?
pressing the record button on that remote.
Which one?
I think it's got to be Lakers or Celtics.
Lakers versus the Celtics?
17 chips
I
versus
disagree.
17 chips.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I want the Nets versus the Lakers.
I disagree.
I disagree with that.
I see that being the next finals next year, or Nets versus the Warriors. I think it
versus
should.
Warriors,
I think it
it's a
should be
game
Nets versus
Nets
Warriors.
versus Warriors would be a fun
I think
one.
it should be Nets versus Warriors or Nets versus Lakers because of course we'd all like to see KD versus Steph. That would be awesome.
No, yeah, I'd like to see Nets versus Warriors. I think that would be a good. The Warriors, no doubt about it. I think they're getting a Christmas game.
I have 4 games written
definitely.
down. 4 games written down. Lakers, Heat, Mavs, Celtics, Nets, Warriors, Clippers, Bucks. I think Lakers, Heat. I think you have to give us that one game little rematch, between those teams because you didn't see the fully healthy Heat against the fully healthy Lakers,
That's true, but I just see the Lakers playing the Nets or like the Clippers or the Warriors.
Well, it almost is tradition though for the 2 finals teams to play on Christmas Day.
That's true.
It's tradition. It's basically tradition. We saw it with the Cavs. We all enjoyed watching those Cavs versus Warriors games. So I think it is tradition. We'll probably see a Lakers versus Heat.
Do you guys see the Mavs getting a Christmas game?
I think yes, because of Luka Doncic.
I think so too.
Luka Doncic, he's a baller.
Yeah.
But
he's fun to watch. He's very fun to watch.
now the Mavs don't deserve a Christmas game. The NBA.
Who do you
they
see
want
them
views.
playing? I say Celtics.
I think here's the thing with the Mavs getting a Christmas game is one, you have both Porzingis and Luka. They're both international players. Those are 2 guys that are going to bring in international viewers. Their whole countries are going to be watching. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
So it's going to be they're going to get a Christmas game for sure.
What about the Clippers? Are they getting a Christmas game?
Sadly, yes.
Sadly,
yes.
I think yes, and they're kind of a fun team to watch, but I think there's funner teams there's better teams to watch.
The Clippers this season, I did not enjoy them.
But that last year's Christmas games, Clippers versus the Lakers, that was a good game. Where it was blocked at the end, that was a good game. All right, one more team. The Bucks. Do they get a Christmas game?
Yeah,
yes.
they get it.
Bucks
I see the Bucks
game.
versus the Heat. I think that's a great matchup.
I see Bucks versus Clippers.
I have Bucks
that
versus
could
Heat
also
too.
That could also be possible.
Bucks versus Clippers. That's a good one too. Kawhi the Claw versus Greek Freak. Kind of like that. I kind of like that. That's a good shout.
All right. Comment down below what Christmas games you want to see.
Yeah.
We're excited to know what you guys think. And all right, so let's go to our second segment. Projected trades. Just over the week, we got some new ones.
I have news from 1 hour ago.
What? Some breaking news?
Breaking news
on the Waterboys podcast.
I won't
Let's
say
hear
it's
it.
breaking news. It's breaking rumors.
Breaking rumors.
Let's hear it.
There is discussion about a trade between the Miami Heat and the Houston Rockets over James Harden.
Oh my gosh!
There's no way. Who
would
you
you give for James Harden? You would have to give someone big. You might have to give Jimmy.
No,
all the
it
young
wouldn't be
players
Jimmy.
are gone.
We have a lot of young players.
Oh yeah, all your like. Do you
I
really
say
want to
no.
give away all your young players?
I say no, but that's something that's being discussed at the moment.
I see possibly James Harden leaving, maybe to the 76ers.
I see a lot more to the 76ers.
I see that as a possibility.
Are the number one option for James Harden. But
they'd have to give away.
The reason that happened is because apparently James Harden made a list of preferred teams.
Really?
If he is to be traded, and Miami Heat was on that list.
All right, I got a trade for you guys. You guys have probably all heard it, but Booker to the Timberwolves for the first pick. What do you guys think?
That big 3 must really be wanted.
Yeah.
We've seen them all on the yachts. We've seen them on the Instagram. Those 3 hanging together, playing Fortnite, doing all the good stuff. Playing 2K.
Would the Timberwolves have to give more than the first pick?
A lot more than the first pick.
They have to give a lot.
But
because then I see the Suns. I see the Suns then selecting LaMelo.
They don't have enough to get Devin Booker in my mind.
But why would the Suns set themselves back? Again, as we discussed in the last podcast, these guys had a great start to the season last year and had a great finish.
Yeah.
And the only reason why they lost is because DeAndre Ayton was injured. The whole team's healthy. A whole team's going to be healthy this year. I say run it back. I say run it back and see what you can do.
The conversation being had is the CP3 to the Suns.
This is one of the trades I see happen the most.
I mean, Suns have the 10th pick.
You give away Ricky Rubio as well.
You have to give more though.
You have to get. You can't.
Ricky Rubio. Kelly Oubre, and their pick.
Kelly Oubre.
Maybe not their pick, but Ricky Rubio and Kelly Oubre.
I think for sure. I'm not sure Ricky Rubio's part of it, but that's possible.
I don't think the Thunder are interested, though.
The Thunder are going to want a good return.
Yeah.
Do they want Kelly Oubre?
I don't think they're going to be unrealistic about what they want because they know
I think they need Kelly because there's not too many other people on that team that I don't know would fit that the Suns could give away.
The thing is, the attitude does not. Kelly Oubre does
Kelly. The OKC has a really young team that has room to grow. They probably won't be doing good for the next 2 seasons, but they have a lot of room to grow, and I think that's a big possibility that could happen. All right, I got one. Drew Holiday to the Nets forming a big 3. Do you see this as a possibility?
No, because I don't know what the Nets have to give up. That
they would have to give away Dinwiddie. They probably have to give Dinwiddie their 3-point shooter. What's their 3-point shooter's name? He won the 3-point contest, I'm pretty sure.
Joe Harris.
They'd have to give away Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, and their pick.
Now, if the Pelicans were getting Joe Harris, maybe the trade's worth it. But if you're the Pelicans, you have a good young core.
I think Dinwiddie could fit on the Pelicans.
My thing
starting
is,
point guard.
Why do you trade
Lonzo Ball? Like, why are you going to trade when you have? They have all those young guys. Why not give them some time to build?
That's my thing. Why do you trade Drew Holiday if you're just going to bring in another player?
That's true.
In a similar circumstance to Drew Holiday.
That's true.
Drew Holiday's been there for forever. They're going to be loyal to him. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they're going to trade him for another guy who's... I'm not saying Holiday's better than Dinwiddie, but just a similar situation.
That's true. I guess I just... Probably because Drew is on his last year, right? He's probably going to leave after this year, depending on how they do this season. So they probably trade just to get a guy for a longer time, maybe. But yeah, you're right. Let's talk about the Celtics. They're in need of a big. I saw this rumor: Drummond to the Celtics. Does Drummond still have a ways to go in his career, or is he?
He's a solid center. He's a solid center, but for some reason, it's like he doesn't love the game of basketball.
I can see what you're saying.
I think he's been made into somewhat of an outcast with the way he plays. The way he plays is not fitting with the current league. So I think that's why. I think
he's gonna leave the Cavs. I think the Cavs are gonna give him away. I don't think he fits with the Cavs, and I could see him going to the Celtics.
I think he's lazy.
I don't know, because Tice or on the Celtics.
He's very good.
I think he's a good backup center.
He's very active, though.
So they probably couldn't give him away. They just have to give some young assets probably away.
If you've seen Andre Drummond play, sometimes he's very lazy.
Yeah.
And he's very lazy. That's why I say I don't think he's fully in love playing basketball. Maybe if he got put on a team where he can win and he has a good chance and, he got good guys around him.
Well, that's the thing. If you remember on the Pistons, he was playing really well. He was averaging, I think,
20 and 20.
20, yeah. 20
this guy was
rebounds.
a beast. 20 and 20.
And so
that's insane.
He wanted to be out of there, and they wanted him out, and so I think that's what led to that. And then you get traded to a team like the Cavs
that already have a starting center.
Well, not just that, but
they're just not.
You're
really
living in Cleveland
anywhere.
now.
Yeah.
It's like
who wants to live in Cleveland?
I would be angry if I was Drummond.
Yeah.
But to the Celtics,
it's a possibility.
I think they need shooting.
Who do they give up? Who do they trade? If he's going to
That's
the Celtics,
what I was saying. I don't think Tice. I don't think they'd give away Tice because he's a good backup center.
Yeah. I
don't think they gave away any of their big three. And so they'd have to just give some young assets. Maybe a pick.
They don't. They've got such a weird team.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anyone they can really give up.
They have those 6 guys that they like: Kemba, Jalen, Tatum, Marcus Smart, Theis.
Maybe
who's that
Jalen.
Last? Gordon Hayward. I mean,
Gordon. I think Gordon's gonna leave this year.
Is he on a expiring contract?
He is a free agent, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he is a free agent.
Well, 2021 is going to be a fun year for free agents.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be insane.
It'll be a fun year. But for now,
it's not that crazy.
For now, that might mean trades
this
year.
All right, I have a trade that if this happened, it could change the whole league. Bradley Beal to the Nuggets.
The Nuggets have plenty of players to trade over there and give up.
If they give away their young Michael Porter Jr., he's got high trade value. If they gave away him and maybe two other good bench players, like who was the guy they got from OKC?
Jeremy Grant.
They'd have to give
Maybe
away Jeremy
give
Grant.
away
Gary. They have to
Harris.
give away Jeremy Grant, Gary Harris, and Michael Porter Jr.
What
For
pick
who are
do
we
they
talking
have?
for
about?
Bradley Beal.
For
The
Bradley
pick.
Beal.
They have the 22nd pick, and it did not very much leverage, but a first-round pick is a first-round
If
pick.
they were to get Bradley Beal, they would be an insane team.
And the thing is that I think they are an insane team right now.
Yeah, but if I'm Beal, I'm staying with.
Well, he just signed an extension. There's a reason he signed the extension.
Yeah. No, if I'm Beal, I'd want to stay. I wouldn't request a trade. I think he wants to stay there for as long as he can. It's just if the organization trades him away and does him dirty.
No.
Yeah.
So you don't think Bradley?
I think Bradley Beal's gonna stay.
Yeah.
I think if there was,
They have a chance to be a good team next year.
I think
They have a
they're
chance to be
built
a really good team next year.
Yeah, they're
I see
gonna be a
them
good team.
getting like second round next year.
Well, I'd say first round.
First round.
As long as John Wall can stay healthy and he's the point guard that we all remember, then
as long as he comes back
as
as strong as he was.
Yeah, they can get second round.
Well, he's been out. What 2 years now?
2 years.
So it's gonna be
Last season we had a lot of missing players.
Yeah, we did.
It was insane how many missing players we had, but I'm excited because next year it's like we have a bunch of teams.
Last year was
that could win
probably
it all.
the weirdest year in NBA history.
Yeah, seriously.
Which just sucked because we saw potentially some of the greatest teams in our era, and like not in our lifetime, but like in this 10-year period, we saw some of the greatest teams that can be put together this year.
Yeah.
You know, but this year's gonna be better because now we got the Warriors back, the Nets are back, got a couple teams. We thought, exactly like you guys said, we thought last year was crazy. This year's like
Seriously.
on another level.
All right, I got one last trade for you guys. Victor Oladipo to the Lakers.
I just don't know what the Lakers would give up. They don't have any
No,
cap.
they could give away Kuzma. They could give away Danny Green.
The thing is the cap, though. Do the Lakers have the cap?
Here's the
Now they
they
have to make some sacrifices.
I don't have.
No, Danny Green is on a huge
I
contract.
have a problem.
It's like
15
$17 million or something.
15
like, yeah.
mil.
I have
They
a-
need to give him away to make that space.
But they won't take him.
I have an extreme problem with the over. Kyle Kuzma is completely overvalued.
Yeah.
He is
Seriously.
not. He is not an NBA player that I would trade for under any circumstances.
Well, I mean, if you have the right organization and the right trainers and the right people under him, I think they can make him. They could grow him into a better
He
player.
fits good as a power. He fits good as a shooting power forward that spaces the floor.
Yeah.
That's how he fits. And when he's gonna get his buckets, he'll have his nights. He'll get his buckets because he's got a little skill. But he's not a first option. He's not a second option. But he's a good guy. He's that third role player. When you have two stars, to have that third role player like Kyle Kuzma, even though he didn't perform this season, let's give him a break.
Yeah.
He's 3 years into his career.
Just talking about Kyle Kuzma. I just think he's overvalued. Wildly overvalued. People talk about him in all kinds of trades. And
We'll have to see what happens because I see them having to give him away, but
he's going to get given away, but for what? I mean, unless somebody's doing
That's what I was
the Lakers
saying.
a favor.
I was hoping he could go to the Thunder because they have a lot of young guys. I think they could grow him, but they just don't have the cap to bring on like CP3. That's what they would. They just don't have the cap.
Just about maturity.
Yeah.
I think the Thunder are building a really young team right now, and I don't think you bring in an immature young guy. They have a lot of good young guys who are acting and playing really well and are being really good, people and players. And I'm not saying Kyle. I'm not saying Kyle Kuzma's a bad person.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Kyle Kuzma fits the LA mold.
He
does fit the LA mold.
He fits the LA mold. I think he should stay
He
with
walks
the
in the room like he's got all that.
And
when
you're
really
like,
it was just
oh my
LeBron and
gosh,
AD carrying him the whole
Hollywood.
season.
Yeah.
You take LeBron and AD out of that team, they are a freaking like 10 seed team.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
They're what they were before LeBron.
They were, yeah.
Hey, man, we had potential. And then LeBron came in. He just messed it up.
All right, you guys got anything else?
He just won a championship.
Yeah.
Hey, don't talk to me about championships, bro. We don't, dude. It's not deserved.
All right, you got
I don't feel
anything
it.
else?
Let's just talk about the Spurs for a second. I think they're gonna blow up their team.
Well, they do have a free agent. DeMar DeRozan is a free agent.
He is a free agent.
I see him
Okay,
leaving.
he's gonna leave.
I don't think he likes being on the Spurs. I see him leaving. I see them just having to, like you said, blow it up and start restarting.
Well, Aldridge is gonna be traded. At what point this season, I don't know.
Maybe
But
towards
There
the
was
middle.
always talks about Aldridge going back to the Portland Trailblazers.
Yep.
When
I
that
would
trade
love
happened,
to see that. I would love to see that.
when that trade happened, it was disappointing. But there was always been talk about LaMarcus Aldridge going back to the
Was
Portland
it a trade or
Trailblazers.
did he sign there?
No, I don't. This happened like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
This was back when they were trying to put Pau Gasol, when they were trying to have LaMarcus Aldridge and Pau Gasol be their big man. So this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
2017 maybe, I don't know.
I do see them, like you said, blowing their team up and just starting
Definitely.
to have to restart.
Yeah.
And they're not too big of a free agent destination, especially because we don't have too many good free agents this year.
Yeah.
So maybe next year they could land a good free agent, but this year it's just not their year.
I like their young guys though.
They have some good young guys.
DeJounte Murray,
They have the good
Yeah.
young
Derek
guys.
White,
and they have
Brian
the-
Forbes.
And they do have the
they
11th
have
pick.
The 11th pick.
So
And the
they
11th
are a
pick.
team to grow.
Yeah.
Did we discuss who we're thinking the Spurs are gonna pick? I had Killian Hughes, but that's only if he falls.
Well, yeah, that brings us into
Yeah.
the next and final segment, the mock draft. We're going to start off with each of us are going to talk about one player and who they are and where they're going to be selected and why they're good for that team. So, Dale, you want to start us off?
Yeah, we're gonna. Well, we might as well start with the guys that we drafted yesterday out of the hat. Not yesterday,
Well,
last week out of the hat. And one of the guys that I got that I think goes arguably first, and if he slides to 5, he'll be lucky. Anyway, if he goes,
I don't think he can slide to 5.
No, there's.
I don't think he can slide at all.
I don't think he.
He's
can
going
slide at
number
all.
1. Tell
He's
him who it
going
is.
number
Tell
one.
him who it is.
Anthony Edwards
Number 1 to the...
to the Timberwolves. They have that first pick, and I think him just being a shooting guard and small forward, just them getting rid of Andrew Wiggins, now looking for a new guy to put in that spot. They don't have any shooting guards or small forwards, so he'd be a perfect fit. Natural talent, and I think he puts in hard work. He'll improve D'Angelo Russell and Cat, and they could probably
It should be a good fit.
get a playoff spot.
I agree.
All right, my turn. I'm starting off with James Wiseman. James will be drafted second by the Warriors. The Warriors are in huge need of a center. He is extremely athletic and fits with the Warriors' style of play. He doesn't have an extremely stable jumper, but with Curry and Clay on the floor, that's not something he really needs to worry about. And they could obviously help him with his jumper. He stands 7'1", and that's what the Warriors need, a big.
I disagree. I have Denny Avdia going to
Alright.
the Warriors, number 2.
That's pretty high for...
No.
Denny.
He's the best international prospect in this draft. He's a great defender, great offensive player. He's plays an American style game, and that's why he's so high in this draft.
I'm gonna disagree that he's the best foreign player, but you can continue.
I think he's hands down the best foreign player in this draft. But
Interesting.
I think he's going number 2 to the Warriors. The more I read about him, the more I like him, and it's a good sign.
All right.
Let me
Who's
tell you
next?
who I think could contend for another one of the best foreign players coming over from the Bundesliga. Not soccer, basketball.
All right,
Not
what's his
soccer,
name?
Basketball. It's gonna be Killian Hayes.
All right.
All right, he's a shooting guard, 6'5", 180 pounds. I think he's a good fit on a couple of teams, but the hard part is what team wants this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part. And I think he may go to the Bulls. I think they can fit him in. They're trying to upbring Kobe White,
Yeah.
put him in, slide him as shooting guard, fit there well. And if he doesn't go there, he falls, and then there's no doubt that the Pistons, the Knicks, or even the Wizards, even if he falls to the Spurs, because Pop likes his Euro guys. Pop likes his foreign players.
That could be an interesting fit.
He could slide down to there, but I really think he's going to be in that. Either he goes 4 to the Bulls or he slides down to that 8 to 10 range.
All right, I like it. All right, next up, pretty sure you all know this guy, LaMelo Ball. All right, I got if the Wolves trade for Booker, right, then the Suns will draft him first. But we're saying if that doesn't happen, all right, then if no trade is done, he will go to the Hornets for the 3rd pick. The Hornets have Rozier and Graham, who are good guards, but if you put Ball into that mix, he can become more of a playmaker. He won't have much of a burden to score, making him able to focus on spacing the floor, getting others involved, and becoming an all-around playmaker. So that's why I think he'll go to the.
I see your point there, but I think it's a weird fit. LaMelo's gonna want to play guard. The only way that really works is if they put LaMelo at the small forward, and I think they're not gonna put Graham or Rozier on the bench for him. So I don't think that's what'll happen there. I think he'll go to the Bulls, but
that could happen. It's interesting if he falls there.
Yeah. I have Tyrese Halliburton. I have him going to the Knicks. He's a bigger point guard. He could also.
The Knicks do need a good point guard.
They don't like their point guard.
No, they do need a good point guard.
I either have him if he gets past the Knicks, I have him going to the Suns.
All right, I like it.
Wait, do we really think LaMelo Ball's going top 3 picks?
Yes.
I think he's going 4th to the Bulls.
3rd
to the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Is he really that good though?
I think he can make an
solid.
impact. I think he can make an impact. We'll talk more about him next week as the draft comes. We'll talk about more of his strengths, his weaknesses. But yeah, so who do you got next?
My next guy, might as well just slide down to Patrick Williams.
All right.
Patrick, I compare him to, you guys remember PJ Williams? He went to the Hornets.
Yeah.
Either it was last year's draft or 2 years draft ago. He kind of fits as that similar player. He's a power forward, around the same weight, 220, 230
PJ Washington?
pounds. PJ Washington, thank you. PJ Washington.
Yeah.
And I think he's not going to be too high, but at the Wizards, it's been highly speculated that the Wizards are going to take him, snatch him up. I didn't find anything more on it. If he slides down to the Spurs grab him up. But other than that, probably go Wizards. Probably go to that 9th pick.
All right, I like it. All right. Next, I have Okongwu, something like that. I'll get it better. He'll be drafted 7th by the Pistons. All right, here's something interesting about the Pistons. Christian Wood. I think he's going to have a breakout year next year. And I think that Okongwu would be a great to pair with Wood. He's a scoring center, which is exactly what the Pistons need. And I think he'd be able to just fit in there perfectly.
I can definitely see it. As long as Onyeka doesn't get picked earlier in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, yeah. And for that to happen, I think because Christian Wood's contract is about to end, you're going to need to trade Blake Griffin just to have room
could happen.
For that. So that's good.
Yeah, they could trade him for some few young players.
Mm-hmm. I have Precious Achiuwa. I have him going. He's a power forward. I have him going to either the Wolves or the Celtics. The Celtics have a lot of power forwards.
With what pick? In one pick. They have
a
couple.
Not the first pick.
Going down.
I have him going
Timberwolves
later in
is
the
17th.
So yeah.
Celtics have 2 late
around
picks.
There.
All right.
He's a power forward. The Celtics have a lot of power forwards, but no.
They could use a good big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have good power forwards, but they're not going to be your starter. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you could argue he's going to be just like them.
Yeah.
But the Wolves, I think they could use a good power forward. So.
Mm-hmm.
See, I have a guy named Sadiq Bey, also kind of a power forward. I think he fits more in that small forward range.
Yeah.
But, as the league's progressing, we see more of them big men stepping out to the wing. We see him more ball handling. We see him more taking control on the court. So he could slide to the small forward position. But I see him playing. Think he can play power forward, and on the Celtics, I feel like that's a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
He can either go not only the Celtics, he can go with the Jazz, or even if the Nuggets wanna dabble in. But the Nuggets are so like stacked that they don't. They're stacked at the guard position, but they're not stacked at the big man position. So I think they could fit him in, but I mean, he just wouldn't see a lot of minutes in the first year.
The Celtics are stacked at every position. They're a weird team. They're just gonna
I have a guy that I think could fit with them later for a center.
Yeah.
They do need a good center.
I think
they do need big. They need good big men.
I think they're gonna end up trading a few, maybe a piece, and all this year's picks to get a good center.
Yeah. All right. So next I got Obi Toppin. I like this guy.
Obi Toppin.
I like this guy. I can see the Wizards picking him at 9th pick. Toppin, here's the thing about him. He needs a good point guard to maximize his ability, and the Wizards have that in Wall. I hope Wall comes back next year being the player he was. I hope he doesn't have a big fall, but I think he'll still be like the player he was. But he would fit very well in there with Wall and Beal, and that would make him if he was in there, they would have an extremely aggressive and dangerous front court with those three. It'd be really dangerous.
That Wizards team is looking better and better as time goes on, which is sad to me as a Heat fan because I really wanted Beal. But as time goes on, they're building a pretty good team.
Oh yeah,
yeah. John Wall, Bradley Beal. What's Rui? I love Rui.
Rui Hachimura.
Rui. I had him on my fantasy team last year. Love him.
Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, from Japan.
Great player.
He beat Donovan in the 2K tournament. So after that,
he did.
I'm not a fan after that.
But they're building a great team over in Washington.
All right, excited. Who you got next?
I got Isaac Okoro.
All right.
I haven't gone to. It could also go to the Wizards. I haven't gone to the Wizards. He's a power forward, just like Toppin.
And Patrick.
There's a lot of power forwards in this draft. Or I could see him going to the Cavs as well. Like I said last time, I think the Cavs are going to be moving on from their big men.
Yeah.
Okoro, he's actually a small forward. But yeah, I think he could either fit in with the Cavs or the Wizards.
All right, what do you got?
I think we're gonna discuss Elijah Hughes. We're gonna go back up in the draft. He's gonna be a higher pick. He could actually fit in that Cavs spot.
What position?
He's a shooting guard / SF, but I mean he's 6'5". He's kind of small. He's got a big wingspan, but he is still pretty small. I put him at that shooting guard position.
All right.
But he's a solid player. He scored 19 points, 5 rebounds.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. He shoots pretty well as well.
The Cavs could use some scores.
The Cavs need scores, and that's exactly that. I'm glad you said that because that's exactly where I was going to go. Cavs need scores, but then he can also I see him going to the Hawks. But the reason why I think he either goes Cavs or Hawks, if he doesn't get picked by those two, it's gonna be hard if the Hawks pick him because they have so many guards.
Yeah,
they're gonna be stacked. But then he slides down to maybe the Suns or the Spurs or the Kings.
All right. Kira Lewis Jr. He will be selected 12th by the Kings. Here's about Lewis, all right? Lewis is an extremely quick and scores in bunches. He fits perfectly with the Kings because the Kings, they like to run. So if you have Kira coming off the bench when Fox is going to sit down, that's a fast team.
Yeah.
Like, Fox will just be running down. When he needs a break, this guy will come in and just score in bunches. It will be so fast, and that can make them really hard to run with.
I can see that. That'd be a good team right there. They're going to be a good team they're building.
Yeah.
I have Devin Vassell. I think he could also go to the Kings. They need a shooting guard. It looks like they're going to be moving on from Buddy Hield. So I think drafting Devin Vassell, he's a big shooting guard, 6'7".
That's a big shooting guard.
I think he could fit in well there. They're going to be a good team. I think he could also go to the Pistons. So either of those pick. Pistons would be number 7. It'd be a little early for him, but I think he could fit up there. And then Kings, if he slides down far enough to them, I think they'll pick him up.
All right.
I'm gonna also throw out going off Ian, point guard, that's going to fit in that Kings area, that 10 to 13 spot. Cole Anthony played on North Carolina. He's kind of surrounded by some good guys.
They were talked about him going to the Jazz.
Were they talk? Is that? See, I don't have him going to the Jazz because I feel like that's too low. The lowest I see him falling is probably the 76ers at that 21st pick, I believe they have. So I don't know if he'll fall that low, but I think he's going to be. I think the Suns are going to look because they want a point guard, and if they can't get anyone else, then I think they'll probably look to get Cole. The Pelicans, if they're getting rid of Drew Holiday, they're going to need to start looking for someone to back up Lonzo. And if he does, even the Magic could use a new point guard. DJ Augustine's not going to do it for you.
They have Markel. Markel's growing.
I totally forgot about
Markel Fultz is growing.
But
he's growing into a better player.
They scooted him over to a shooting guard.
He's
playing shooting guard nowadays. So I think they could take Cole.
Yeah.
The rest of the teams, they have their solid point guards. I don't see him falling any. And if he does, 76ers.
All right, next I have R.J. Hampton. RJ will be selected 16th by the Blazers. The Blazers are not in need for a shooter, as they have good shooters in Dame and CJ. They also don't need a center, but they could use a solid playmaker to come off the bench. RJ would fit this position perfectly with his court vision, passing, and all-around athleticism. He doesn't have an extremely good shooting background, but I mean, if anyone could help with shooting, it's Dame.
True. Yeah. True. Well. Yeah. And I think he could fit well with Anthony Simmons.
Yeah, off the bench.
Yeah, I think he could fit well.
They do need more of an offensive threat.
Well, he's very I think he's very aggressive too. Like, remember when they were comparing them? This was way earlier, but they were comparing LaMelo Ball and PJ Hampton, and everyone's like, "Oh, not PJ, RJ Hampton," and everyone's like, "Oh, RJ Hampton's definitely he's gonna be better." Now suddenly we have LaMelo Ball gonna be in top 5 or top 10. I think RJ Hampton is the better all-around player, not only because he fits on a team well. LaMelo Ball, you got to build around him, but RJ Hampton, he fits on a team. You can put him on any team, and he's also going to be more aggressive, I think. I think he's going to be more aggressive, not only on the offensive end, but also on the defensive end.
Yeah.
I have Aaron Naismith next. Ian keeps stealing my teams every time he goes for a pick.
We'll have to see who's right.
I have Aaron Naismith going to the Blazers at 16. I think he could also fit in Miami. I would like that fit. He's a small forward. He can shoot very well. I can see him going to either team, but I think he works with the Blazers.
But the Blazers don't need another shooter.
You can always use more shooting, I think.
I guess it, especially just coming off the bench.
Yeah,
in this league.
True. Yeah, so I think he'd be a good 3-and-D.
That would make them very scary offensive team.
Yeah.
All right, we got,
as Ian would put it, Robert Woodward III.
Robert Woodward III.
For 3.
I like that name. Tell us about him.
Well, I honestly think he might slip out of the first round.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not really sure
30th,
why he's on the top 30 list. No, there's potential for him to get drafted.
Yeah.
I see the Lakers could take him, Toronto could take him, but it's just there's not a strong enough case there for him. I mean, he can shoot. He shoots. I got some of his stats here, and he shoots 50% from the field goal range.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but guess what his free throw is? 64%.
How do you shoot 50%?
Is he a big man?
I don't know.
Is he a big man?
He is a big man. Yeah. Well, he's a small forward, but he can gamble into that power forward section. So there's just not a great fit for him to fit on a team first round. So I think, bold prediction, I think Robert Woodward slides to the second round. Don't know where he's going, but he's sliding to the second round.
All right. Next, I have Tyrell Terry being selected 18th by the Mavericks. Tyrell is an elite shooter who can catch and shoot from basically anywhere. He will perform best on a team with a good offensive flowing team, and that is why I think the Mavs will select him. Other guys in the team can create shots for can give him the ball, like Luka. Luka and other guys on the team can create shots for teammates, and with him on the team, they could have a very dangerous offensive team.
Yeah. I have Isaiah Stewart. He's a power forward. He's a the biggest thing said about him was that he's a hard worker.
Yeah.
So I went and I looked at teams that I think need a little bit of help culture-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with the Nets and the 76ers.
All right.
For me, they're just one of those teams that if you can get any guy who's a hard worker on them, he'll help, you know. With the players I don't like their roster, so I would put him there.
Mm-hmm.
And they could use a power forward. I think the 76ers are going to try to move on from either Tobias or Horford.
Interesting.
So.
Interesting. I have something to say about that after Diaz with his next player.
This is my last guy. The last out of the 10. Zeke Naji. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. From Arizona. 6'11", 240. Big guy.
Where's he going?
I think potential for him also to slide out of the second into the second round. So he can get picked up first. Yeah. But there's just no teams that I really see need a center like him. He can go to the Bucks potentially at the 24th pick. Maybe the Celtics. The Celtics do need a center.
Mm-hmm.
They do need a center, so he could go there. Shoot, dude. I mean, any of these teams could pick him up, and even the Celtics had that last pick in the first round. But he has potential to slide into the second round, so we'll see.
All right. Who I have being selected by the 76ers is Tyrese Maxey. The 76ers really need help with spacing the floor and making things happen. Maxey is always in constant motion and helps in every possession. He has a scoring touch, and that is exactly what the 76ers need. He could be an explosive bench player for them, and in probably his second year, he could probably be a starter.
All right.
Yeah,
that's
I see that happening for
right
them.
There for the 76ers. Starter.
And people were saying he's going to be more like 16th pick.
Mm-hmm.
I see him sliding there and having the 76ers pick him up.
I have Jalen Smith. This guy could also go to the 76ers. He's also a good...
They could basically use anyone who could space the floor and shoot.
The 76ers need help.
Yeah.
He's a good shooter.
They better get lucky in the draft.
I have him also, you could look again, like I said with the Nets, I could see him go to the Nets. They could use a power forward. And then I also saw him going to the Jazz or the Heat.
Alright.
Those are two teams. Miami could use another big man, especially if he can stretch the floor. That'd be nice. And the Jazz, aside from Bogey, don't have a power forward that I could really see working for them.
We need a strong defensive power forward. Because we have Bogey who can score the lights out, but we do need more of a defensive power forward, especially if we give away Gobert. Yeah,
especially.
All right, since you're done, I'll go with my next. Grant Riller. Grant will be selected 29th by the Raptors. Grant has an insane shot, and that is something that the Raptors could use. They have Van Fleet, but they could use another guy, especially off the bench, to create shots and score.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. Josh Green. He's from Australia, so I love him. Strictly because he's from Australia.
Just because
I had him going possibly to Miami, but I doubt it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He does have a shooting problem, so that seemed like a little bit of a problem. But at the same time, he's a great defender. So I could also see him going to the Thunder. That's another team I put down.
All right.
Speaking of the Thunder, I totally forgot. He's at the top of my list, and I totally forgot him.
Oh, come on.
The big man coming from the Euro League that could also potentially go to the Thunder.
All right.
Aleksej Pokazovic. He's
Probably said that wrong, but hey, whoa.
I gotta work on my accent.
Yeah, we gotta work on a lot of names.
But I think he can also go to the Thunder because the Thunder right now they only have Steven Adams. They have Nerlens Noel.
Yeah, they could use a good defensive threat off the bench.
And I think one of those centers might be on the trading block, so I think they might be looking to draft one this year. So he's been projected to go there. I don't see him going anywhere else. I mean, maybe the Bucks, but I don't think they're looking for shooting centers, and this guy doesn't put up threes at all.
Yeah.
So,
all right. For my last player, I've got Danielle Autry. Danielle will be selected 30th by the Celtics. Danielle would fit perfectly in the Celtics because he's a really good big who can defend good in the post, he can rebound, and he can even knock down shots. I see him as a good backup center for the Celtics and maybe climbing his way up to starter in the future.
My problem with the Celtics is it feels like they're just stacking up big men who aren't big pieces of their team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
Water sips on the Waterboys POD.
All right, guys, we're gonna pick it up from there.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Hayden, I'm sorry I interrupted. The water was too strong.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't take another
Alright,
drink.
finish it off.
Yeah, Tyler Bay. He has a great vertical. I think he almost broke the record in the draft combine for vertical. Yes, for a forward. So he's pretty insane.
What position?
He's a small forward.
Maybe like another Derek Jones Jr. or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I like it.
Somebody that we can watch a good. I want to see a good dunk contest. You know, that's what I want to see.
We're in need for a good dunk.
I want to see a good dunk contest.
Hey, last year's dunk contest.
Just because your player was in there doesn't
Was
mean
okay.
it was
It was not. It was not great. It was okay.
No, I'm not saying it was great, but I'm saying a lot of people put a lot of hate on Dwayne Wade. I have to say, I think it was a fair judgment.
And that ends it off for our Waterboys Wednesday. Hope you guys enjoyed and join us next week. See ya.
See ya.